an ordinary office worker, living happily with his beloved wife and daughter, found his life turned upside down one fateful night. After a fun evening with colleagues, he returned home to find everyone asleep. Suddenly, he was jolted awake by a woman's desperate cries for help coming from below. Peering out, he witnessed a young woman fleeing from a serial killer. He watched in horror as the killer attacked his victim. Just as he was about to call the police, his wife, who had been peacefully sleeping, got up to use the bathroom and turned on the light. This small action illuminated the scene, alerting the killer that he had been seen. The next morning, the police discovered the body of a murdered woman on the ground floor of the building. Sung Min understands the importance of having witnesses to the events of last night, but he worries that if he goes to the scene, his wife and children might be in danger. To protect his family, he decides to keep everything under wraps, living in a state of constant fear that the murderer could strike again. The police later find out that the victim was killed around 2 a.m. when they reviewed the surveillance footage from the apartment, which showed that Sung Min was home at that time and could potentially have seen the murder. They attempt to question him about what he witnessed, unaware that cooperating could put his family at risk from the still-at-large killer. As a result, Sung Min chooses not to engage with the police for several days. The police later followed the trail of the young victim's story and discovered that she had recently ended her relationship with her ex-boyfriend. It turned out she had previously reported this man as well. They quickly moved to track him down before he could take his own life with poison. News of a horrific murder in the apartment complex spread rapidly, and some men were shocked to recognize the killer's face, realizing it was someone entirely different from who they had seen that night. The next morning, Sung Min was awakened by his roommate knocking on the door, asking if he had seen the killer, as she had witnessed the same thing that night when the couple took the elevator together at 2 a.m. She tried to convince Sung Hoon to go to the police, insisting that the real killer was still out there, but he refused and hurriedly asked her to leave, wanting nothing to do with the situation anymore. The woman exits Sang Hoon's room, making her way back to her own, completely unaware that a serial killer has been following her from the beginning. Tragically, she is brutally murdered in her room. Meanwhile, Sang Hoon hears a phone ringing that doesn't belong to him and notices her cell phone lying in his room. He decides to return it, which leads him to witness a murder for the second time in his life. Just as he is about to flee the scene, her phone rings again, alerting the killer to his presence. In a panic, Sang-hoon rushes downstairs to seek help at the guardhouse, closely pursued by the murderer. He attempts to call the police using the phone in the guardhouse, but is interrupted by the arrival of his young daughter and wife, who come home just in time to stand next to the serial killer, unaware of the danger. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Sang-hoon quickly hangs up the phone and rushes back to his family. The moment the killer slipped into the building, Sang knew that he and his family would never feel safe again. Detective J. Yaya, who was investigating the serial killer case, sensed something was off. It seemed too convenient for the case to be wrapped up so quickly, as if someone wanted him to catch the culprit. If he was right, this could be the work of the real killer, who was manipulating the police to lead them astray. Determined to uncover the truth, he requested a re-examination of the case, retracing the events from the start to ensure they hadn't apprehended the wrong person. On the day of the incident, a crowd gathered in the apartment complex to witness the chaos. But one man stood out. He didn't even glance at the body. Instead, he was fixated on his own apartment. That man was Sang-hoon, and Detective Yaya knew he had witnessed everything that transpired that night. He will attempt to convince Sang-hoon to testify for the police to help catch the true murderer. Summoning all his bravery, Sang-hoon is ready to speak out against the criminal responsible for multiple murders. Moments later, the police storm the suspect's house, but they find themselves trapped inside, leading to injuries among the officers. The killer manages to evade capture and makes a beeline for Sang-hoon's apartment. Upon hearing that the police failed to apprehend the suspect, Sang-hoon rushes out of the station to safeguard his family's lives. Meanwhile, his wife Ace is in a desperate situation, fighting to protect their daughter until Sang-hoon arrives just in time to assist them. The killer then flees up the mountain with Sang-hoon hot on his heels. Sang-hoon has come to understand that being fearful and hiding away won't protect his family. The only solution is to ensure the serial killer is behind bars. Despite their significant age gap, the two engaged in a fierce battle, each with different motivations. Ultimately, Sang-hoon triumphed over the killer, leading to the criminal's capture. That very night, he decided to leave his apartment, standing at the spot where the woman had lost her life. He called out for help with all his strength, but no one responded. No lights turned on, no windows opened. It seemed everyone prioritized their own safety. If Sang-hoon hadn't confronted the scene of the murder, his family might have continued living in peace, but many more innocent lives could have been lost to this killer. This situation mirrors the troubling reality of society in Korea today. And so, the story comes to a close. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more content like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications and give us a thumbs up to support the channel. Thanks for watching.